Hello, this is Sabina at Cross Keys Crafts with another Winged Wednesday. It's the first Wednesday of the month, so I'm taking part in Jenny's competition or challenge from Jenny's Crafty Corner, and she entices us to use something from our CraftStash that we haven't used before or haven't used in a while. And I just delved into some purchases from I want to say a few weeks ago, maybe a few months ago, when Crafters Companion had their £1 sale, and I bought quite a few items. And I've just picked this one out because I'm still making Christmas cards, or just getting back into it for November actually, after I did lots in July. And this is a 4-piece stamp, die and stencil set. So it comes with this wreath stamp. It has got a matching stencil to add the berries, and then it comes with a die, well, 2 dies, one to cut out the wreath and one to cut out the word here. So I thought I might just as well use that. I haven't prepared anything. I've got 20 minutes to spare, so I'm going to get some cardstock out to stamp this on. I need some ink for the stenciling, and I need some cardstock for the background. I decided to do the die cutting first, so I've already die cut the outer frame here, just because if my ink's not dry when I do the die cutting after, that could smear, and this way I know I have it properly aligned. I have got bits sticking out, but I assume that's where the berries go. So I'm using my stamping platform, and I've just put a little magnet here in the middle. Because this is a new stamp, I'm actually going to give that a good wipe, just in case there's any residue from the production. It feels okay. With cheaper dies you sometimes can have that problem. So I'm using the VersaFine Clair Green Oasis. I thought I'm going bold with this. It's like a Kelly green. So I'm inking this up thoroughly. So applying enough pressure. It felt quite solid, the stamp, although it's silicone. Yeah, I need a bit more ink there. So I'm always keeping my fingers crossed that it hasn't shifted, because sometimes when the ink is sticky it just lifts up the cardstock, especially with just having one magnet down. See, and I seem to have some double stamping there now, but I'm not fretting about that. It's a Winged Wednesday, so we're winging it. So I'm just putting some scrap cardstock in here, so I don't have to clean it now. So, and then my stencil can come in. How do I line that up? Tell you what, this is not as easy as it looks. Oh, I see. I've got 3 bits there. I like a good puzzle, but yeah, this is not that easy. I think it's like this. So I can, against the light, I can sort of line these bits up, but definitely is not easy. So what I'm going to do is, now that I've got in place, I'm going to use some removable tape and just stick this down so it doesn't shift whilst I'm doing the ink blending. So, and I'm just picking an ink now to stencil that, and I will also pick some cardstock for the joy die. So I'm using the Lavinia Elements Emperor Red. This is a really bright red. I think that'll be great. And no, it does stain stencils, so but I don't mind that. So I'm just going around in circular motions just to catch all the berries. I was thinking whether I wanted some shimmer or so I could come in with my shimmer pen as well. Could have used some paste. I always forget I do have some sort of pastes, but I hardly ever use them. That would have been great for Winged Wednesday. But I've only got a few minutes to spare, so I'll keep it simple. So I'm just using the ink that's left on the stencil here now, just to move it about. Yeah, and I think I'll come in with my shimmer pen and I'll just add some shimmer over the top here. I hope it's not leaking, as in bleeding underneath the stencil. So I'm just getting some scrap paper here, just to clean up my nib. Because the last thing is I want, if I use it for the next project, I don't want any red to be on there. So I'm taking the stencil off and then I'm leaving this to dry. Oh, see, it's bled through. Oh, bummer. So don't do what I did. So never mind. I'll spare another few minutes and I'll redo this. So don't use your wet shimmer pen. And yeah, I'll continue from there. When I redid my thing, I just had a last minute idea, and that was to add some clear embossing powder to the stamping. The VersaFine Clear always stays wet long enough anyway, and the Elements ink was just wet enough to catch this embossing powder, so I like the look of that. So it's obviously a little bit warped from that, but it doesn't really matter. And I had a little bit of bleeding, but that's not from the second application. That is because I had some ink underneath the stencil from before. So I decided, I didn't only cut the joy here, I also cut a circle, because I decided to actually turn this into a tag. So I'm just applying my glue. Obviously, I could have had it as an embellishment on a card, but to be honest, I think I've got enough Christmas cards for this year. I've already given quite a few away in Germany, rather than sending them over for £3.40 each. No matter what size your card is, that's the minimum price. I took some over to the friends that I did see in October, and I just said, you open the envelope when you feel like it's Christmas time. A little bit more pressure there. Oh, it wants to come off a little bit here. Probably not enough glue. I'll show you a little trick. Just taking a scrap of cardstock and putting the glue on the edge here, and then I can slide the glue under, and I don't have any mess there. Doing the same on the opposite side. So, and for the joy, I'm going to use my Zig glue pen. These Zig pens, they come with different nibs. I can only find this one at the moment, which is like a roller ball. I normally use the one with the other nib, but it's gone AWOL, so never mind. So just dabbing this on here. Hope you can see. Oh, and like with the other one, it's sort of like a bluish glue, and when it is tacky enough it turns clear, and then I can apply the die cut. This one's definitely a little bit wetter than the other one, that's why I don't particularly like losing this nib. So I left this to dry for about 30 seconds, and then I can apply it here. It doesn't really matter which way around. I tell you what though, because I'm going to put a hole at the top, I think I'll have this one as the top, and you can just place this here in the middle. So it didn't cut very cleanly though. Got a few bits sticking out. But it's okay. So I will just at a later point put a hole in at the top, and then I've got my little Wing It Wednesday project ready. I will actually, and I might insert a little snippet at the back, I will actually create some more, because when I bought this one here, I actually bought 3 more that work the same way. I've got this bauble one, I've got the star and the snowflake. So they again have got the outline die, a word die, a stencil and the stamp. So I think I'll be creating those later off camera, but the same way as these, and then I'll show you them all. I decided to create one more tag and leave the other sets for another day. And what I've done is I've heat embossed this in gold on blue cardstock, just to have some variation. And the thing I want to try now is something I have been meaning to do for quite a while, and that is trying to create my own texture paste with glitter. And I have got this Sizzix 3D adhesive. I don't know when I bought it, I don't know why I bought it, because I've got another glue. I should have done this really off camera, trying to open this up. I think I quickly do this off camera. Yeah, it's a little trick. I used my tweezers on the pull tab that is there. And I have got some packaging here that was meant for the bin anyway, so I'm using that to mix it. I don't think I need a lot, so I'm sure that's plenty here. So I'm sticking this back on the top, and I'm hoping this dries okay. I've got another glue that sort of stays tacky, and that is useful for foiling, which is another idea. And I've got blue glitter here. So, and my idea is that I'll mix this in here generously, trying not to make too much mess outside of this. So I've got a cheap spatula here, and mixing this up. Yeah, I'm hoping this dries clear, so that we can see the sparkle afterwards. If not, it'll be this milky sort of texture. So, and I'm not really good at this, but I'm hoping that with a spatula I can put this through the stencil. Now I'm holding the stencil down as well, and I'm pressing that through the holes. Just want to lift a little bit. Try to take the excess off so I can use that again here. I'm really winging it again, because I haven't done that a lot of times. Certain techniques that I see other crafters use all the time that I don't, and that is using paste, structure paste or stuff like that through stencils. And I should have put something underneath so I wouldn't mess up my craft table here. So I'm taking the excess off. See, I didn't even need a lot. So, and oh, I'll wipe that away. So, and then I'm trying to peel this off without messing it up. Put my finger here. I've bent the top a little bit, but I'm not bothered about that because I'll put something in the back. Can you see already? So I'm leaving that to dry. I might even come back tomorrow because I'm sure by the time this is dry, daylight will have gone. So I will record the outro tomorrow. And yeah, for you, it will obviously only be a few seconds. I have been winging it a little bit more since I left this to dry. Just wanted to show you this. So the glue with the glitter worked great in theory. I had a few spots here where I obviously didn't apply enough paste, so I just used my wet glue here, this glue pen, put some spots of glue there and just drizzled some glitter over that and let that dry. That worked fine as well. But because this glue here, I think I bought that for foiling, and it says something about it staying tacky. The dots here individually, although they have dried, they still were a bit tacky. So my idea was to use some foil over the top. And I did this, so I just used my foil and I just rubbed it around here. And I know this worked because I could see that, I don't know if the camera picks it up, that some of the foil had come off. But when I tried it a bit more vigorously, because some of these were still tacky, I realised, and I think you can see this here, that the dots here can still actually take a bit more foil. So I'm going to put this through my die cutting machine with a complete foil over the top, apply a bit more pressure. What I do expect then is that the originally dark blue dots are actually this teal colour, but I don't mind that either way. I think either are pretty. So if you do create your own glitter paste, make sure it's not tacky glue you're using. It could probably be just some PVA glue, but that's just yeah, a side note. Also, I have backed this up with some cardstock, not the dark one, reason being I just wanted to use some scraps, so that's why it's lighter blue, but I needed something to have this a little bit sturdier. The other thing I did yesterday was the leftover paste. I just put this on some scrap card because my idea is that I can die cut the sentiment from this. I hope that works. Again, this is tacky. I might even put that through with a foil as well and see what happens. If not, I can just dispose of that. And the other thing I did was, sometimes my brain goes really, really creative. When I was thinking about the wreath yesterday, and I also got a food delivery today, and this time I had a voucher to order a box of these. So I thought the wreath would actually be great to gift these individually. So what I've just done off camera is I used some black cardstock. I die cut 2 circles. I die cut the middle afterwards, but you don't have to do that. You can actually die cut them at the same time. And then I just stamped the wreath on it. I didn't bother about the stenciling, and I heat embossed that in gold. I wanted something that pops. I wanted something that goes with the colour of this packaging here, of this wrapper. So I did 2 of these, and instead of using the stencil, I just put some stickle dots here where we would have the holly berries. So there are some areas that are maybe a bit bare, but nobody will know that the original stamp came with a stencil where you've got more of these, but you could add more. You could also add some beads if you wanted that, but I see this as actually a disposable piece, so I didn't want to spend too much time on that. Yeah, so I die cut the holes from the middle, and then I also put these both together and put a hole in from the top to hang this up. I will show you in a moment, well, I'll leave that to dry. For you it will only be a moment, how I glue these together to get this in the middle. And I will also show you in that bit what this looks like after I've put it through the die cutting machine. My second tag is finished. As you can see from the foil here, all the dots picked up that foil because they were still tacky, except for the ones I added with the other glue. So I've got now like a teal glitter effect. So basically it is the glitter in the glue plus the teal foil. I also did the same with this piece here. I foiled this and I die cut the sentiment from this and a little star which I could just squeeze in there, because I added a gold oval in the back. I actually spread this out a little bit in the shape, which I could do with the word, so it's not straight, the sparkle. But then I found I needed something on the top there. So yeah, I'm really pleased with this. I think this looks really nice and really posh. So yeah, that's my second one. And for the third one, the stickers have dried now, so I just wanted to show you how I thought I'm going to glue in this Lindor piece. So I'm just picking it this way, up this way, so it sits in straight. I think I will actually tape it a little bit to the top so that it doesn't move about too much. So I'm just using a little bit of clear tape, because I think it'll be easier then to manage. I'm not bothering too much. I can push it out of the way when I need to put the twine through, but this way I can just fix it there a little bit. Maybe also at the bottom. Hadn't thought this through, but I'm winging it. That's what Wing It Wednesday is all about. So, and then my idea is to only put glue on the sides here, really, not at the top, and then that gives us enough sort of what's the word I'm looking for, dimension to keep the ball in. Not sure how far I want to go in. I'm winging it. So I need to be mindful though to have the hole in this one the same position. If you wanted to, you could put the hole in last. So, and I need to now press this down. You really want a quick grab glue. See, this wants to pop open again. Let me just get some. I've got some pegs here. Oh, I could use some bull clips. So I could do with some more clips really. But I think it should be fine in a moment. You can use some adhesive tape if you wanted to. As I said, I see this as a disposable gift tag anyway. So just moving that down a little bit. Yeah. So I will then just add the ribbon here at the top. I will seal off the ends with my lighter, and then this is also finished. If I wanted to, I could put a little bit more glue in, but I'll probably just shut this tight a little bit with the ribbon in the end. Yeah, I hope this is also a nice idea for you. I enjoyed making these. Oh, one more idea I had. Well, it's not really my, well, I thought it was my idea, but it's not really. On the packaging here, I think they used beads instead of, you know, like glitter glue or whatever. So what I would do is I would use the stencil to mark, maybe just with a pencil or so, on the cardstock where the beads have to go, and then just glue the beads on afterwards. Yeah, I hope you like this little idea. I haven't got a clue how long this video is, but if you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another video. Oh, very soon, by the way, because this will be my second video for Wednesday. And also, because it's the 5th of November, it's time for the Fancy Fold Craft Challenge. So that will be on at 5 PM today. And yeah, I'll see you again soon with that video.